Dana, we need to talk about AI clickbait because you, me, and Justin keep getting articles sent to us from people going, is this true or do you know it? And it's what I call AI clickbait. The world is going to come to an end, all jobs will be lost, and more content is coming out about that than ever before. And I want to give some heads up on it about how you can know you're reading AI clickbait. The beginning is if you're watching a video and it says we'll get to the point soon and they won't bring it up, that's AI clickbait. If you're reading an article and it has filler in it and it talks about it and it doesn't get to the point right away, that's AI clickbait. If it says the whole world's going to end and now we need to talk about it, my favorite one, I don't want to call it out because you all can see it, is this young man who wrote this clickbait article filled with a lot of stuff, and he actually got himself on CNN, and he's going, it's important we talk about the risk of AI. Like that hasn't been a conversation since it started.
Yeah, Martin, let's face it, we're in the world of emotionally targeting personas. That's what the marketing people do and a lot of the podcasters, not all, and influencers. And all media, they have to do it in order to get eyeballs on the material and ears listening.
Yeah, I'm going to say they think they have to do it. I think there's a growing number of people who actually want useful information.
Well, I think there are a few sources for that, and but they're hard to find. And as you and I know in constructing our courses, it's very hard to avoid what we like to call political economic spin, for instance, when we're talking about finance or or even AI. I mean, that can come up it's everything's politicized. So depending upon your belief, you might believe that all jobs are going to be replaced by AI entirely. And then on the other side, you might believe that it's going to be a rosy future, more net new jobs than ever, and we're all going to, make extraordinary incomes. You pick.
That's right. And then what's amazing we find because of our commitment to look at all aspects is how many new words are out there, which were just normal words. And now it's like, well, you're on one side or the other because you even use that word. So it's becoming a bigger battle to just give me the facts. What was it? Dragnet or someone or Columbo, just the facts.
Just
And
that.
so that's something that you, me, and Justin work hard on educating people on how to do it. But I got to tell you, I'll still see something, I'll get sucked in and go, what am I looking at? It's clickbait again.
Well, it's confirmation bias, and we're all
Yeah.
subject to it no matter how hard we try to train ourselves because our beliefs are so strong that we really gravitate to those stories or those articles or those posts or those podcasts that tell us what we want to hear.
Yes, it feels good. And also I talked to my friend that's a therapist and he goes apparently having anger towards something gives you a little bump too. So it's like it's like the adrenaline junkie of being mad or excited that you verified what you have. Dane, I want to talk a little bit about again our advice on this and the beginning piece and then we'll go to your facts you have there is that you need to be keeping up with learning this stuff and how it relates to your understanding of your field that you're in. That's really important. So we have people that are sticking their head in the sand and won't touch it at all. That's not good. And there are people scaring the kajizis out of themselves and becoming petrified because they think the whole world will end overnight. No, no, I don't think we're that organized yet. Every one of the large companies is trying to act like it's now going to be self-aware just around the corner. Why? Because it keeps giving them funding. It works. So you've got to learn to cut through the noise and you have to notice when you're getting hooked. And you and I admit, and Justin too, is sometimes we just get hooked to go, whoa, what happened?
Well, for sure. And when like the headline you sent me about all jobs going to be, I think, tell me what the headline was. I forget now.
I don't know, but it was
All
like,
jobs are going to be replaced by AI.
right.
Nobody's going to be able to have any, or work will be optional. Some big names have been saying that, like Elon has been
Yeah,
saying that all
right.
jobs will be optional. And Andrew Yang, the presidential candidate,
That was it.
talking about we're all going to have to go on government, UBI, Uniform Basic Income, because there won't be employment opportunities. Now, the thing is that when you start digging into this a little bit, there's some credible sources that contradict that. In fact, sources like the World Economic Forum, McKinsey, very reputable, Bureau of Labor Statistics, United States, basically, yeah, a lot of people are going to have to change what they do, and there are jobs that are disappearing. We're already seeing that with like bank tellers, programmers, and customer service reps. There's far fewer of them today than there was 2 and 3 years ago. However, uh, projections by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, just to give an idea, is saying that there'll be almost 5 million net new jobs in the United States over the next 7 or 8 years. Okay. And so what is the truth? Who knows? But the question becomes, what can you do about it? And we talked about this recently on Friday, the work and money session for executives here in North Carolina, where we talked about work and money in the age of frantic disruption. And some of the things you can do, there's no question that if you're working today or you're entering the workforce for the first time, you're going to have to be prepared to make career pivots, meaning that what you do today is going to be different tomorrow and different from the next day. And you have to embrace the cycle of learning, unlearning, and learning again, for one thing. And yes, sometimes in a percentage of cases, your job will ultimately go away and you'll have to find something new to do. I mean, that's the reality of the situation, like it or not. But that doesn't, the evidence here so far is that, it was contradictory to this doom and gloom. Everybody's going to be unemployed.
Yes. And I also want to bring up again what we talk about is improve your basic human skills, improve your ability to handle complicated things or solve problems. Are you comfortable with things not going the way you want? You need to get better at that because change creates discomfort, and learning new distinctions means you have to be comfortable with being with confusion. Now, as someone who has had some learning challenges, I had to work hard to get better at being with confusion. And so these are some fundamentals, like fundamental of thinking, fundamental of handling conflict, fundamental of communicating with other human beings. Whatever it is, you're going to have to do it. Now, if you can improve your technology skills so well in one niche, then it might offset some of the human skills you need. But if you can't do that, you better build up those. And it gets back to what we've taught for so long is what's the core skills you have and are you working to improve that, because then those are transferable more than anything else. And we've had so many parents and other people that have reached out to us and say, what do I tell my kid? Should they go to college or not? And the fact of it is are they building some human skills? Have they had enough failure to build any confidence? Or someone just told them they're great all the time, so they have zero confidence? Let's get at some basic, I can do many things if needed. I can show up on time. I can create some calendar. But if I say I'm going to do something, it executes. Let's not lose. Those are always going to be useful. And I'm not sure those are being developed that well.
The idea, the formal terms for this learning, unlearning is reskilling and upskilling. And that's something that everyone's going to have to get used to. But as far as the, the human skills that you talked about, we're finding that the technology is forcing us to be more human in our interaction or to get things done. It's counterintuitive because you think, oh, I can just push a button and things happen, but they're not. And it's the human contact, the human relationship, the human communications that you just spoke of that is starting to really shine for people that in the workplace to be successful. I think that the other thing that people need to think about, because you brought up about, what what should I go to? Should I send my kid to college? And employers are looking less at degrees these days. We know this on the hiring side. They're more interested in your skills, what you can do, certifications, etc. Universities I know are nervous about this, for many reasons. Well, I think, there's different paths to success these days that other than just go to college and get a degree and everything's going to be fine by a long shot. And I haven't seen a clickbait that says all universities are going to die. Okay, because I don't think that's going to happen. But there is a lot of disturbs out there about things. And then just to kind of wrap up, the other thing I'll just say is you mentioned about life skills, how important it is, especially for younger people who haven't experienced adversity. MIT and one other university, I think it's Wharton, don't quote me, but two universities have now offering a class just on teaching resilience. So the adaptability you spoke about, being resilient, those are the things, because when you think about, I'm going to have to change jobs, careers, pivots, that's the human strength factor, the human willingness to change that is unnatural that we need to overcome in order to be successful going forward.
Excellent. So the tips we have is number one, keep building the human skills, but also in your field, make sure you're learning what's going on. If you're a student coming out of college, you can research. Let's say you're coming out to be a legal assistant or something. You've got some education. Well, what are the AI tools that are currently occurring? You can research that, know the risks, the problems, and talk about them. Whatever you're in, you can make the effort to keep up with that area. You can't learn all of it. You have to set some priorities, but make the effort to do it. Don't just say, I took an intro to AI class now. You're going to have to do more to be prepared in that area. So, those to me are the biggest. And the other is be suspicious of two things. We all have bias. You got to realize you have a shadow side, you have a bias. Try to learn it. And a tip on doing that is try to talk to people that might annoy you, topics you don't like, something else, see something from other perspectives. Because Dana, I'm seeing brighter and brighter people locked into one side and going, how can you be so intelligent and not even being the effort to look at the other side? So that's to me a big risk and that type of bias. And then the other thing is just keep building those conflict resolutions, those thinking skills. Use these tools, but also do things where you're in confusion. You don't have the answer right away. You're working. If you don't feel that, it takes hard work to really think. So if you aren't doing something to keep this biological system exercised, it's going to decay quickly. So that's my tip. And then be suspicious of the news. I'll end on one note. The first thing you, me, and Justin say is, what do they benefit from that statement? Right? Isn't it like,
Yeah.
okay? In fact, the politician you just met, what does he benefit from it? It's just like Watergate. Follow the money. Just ask, what do they benefit from when you see a headline? And remember, all the media, the legacy media, traditional media, they're trying to get eyeballs, and they will do just about anything to do it. So we have to keep that watchful eye, and again, make sure we're pushing outside of our own automatic bias, which will keep closing in on it.
Well, for sure, Martin. And I think that, living with uncertainty, I think is your message here, and staying away from those things that can cause unnecessary uncertainty. There's enough certain uncertainties that we have to deal with, the things that are reality, that to not get hooked into. Your advice is to not get hooked into those things that we are so obviously just there to disturb and get eyeballs or make money or whatever the motive might be, other than really helping me as a reader, a viewer, or a listener to learn something beneficial.
Absolutely. And Dana, go ahead and tell people what you work with. I work with you and other people and Justin on AI training, consulting, and everything else, but you have two other areas of expertise.
Yeah, so I work in the talent area and I also work in the investment area. So that looks like helping people with Career Pro organization. We help with recruiting, we help with career services, outplacement, and on the finance side, we help individuals and small businesses with planning their finances, estate, investments, and the whole nine yards. And then you and I do professional speaking and training together, right? Under Martin Brossman and Associates. We create original content, advanced stuff. We try to practice what we preach here, and that bringing really good, unbiased, helpful content to all kinds of audiences.
And we have a great book for those looking in the career called,
Latest book is called Job Hunting in the AI Era.
yep, absolutely. So we'll put those links below. Well, this is important. We want to hear your views, but be suspicious of the AI scaring clickbait. It's now seems to be the most abundant thing out there.
For sure.